Hey, welcome back. So, how do you start your marketing for your online business? That's a great question.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel by pressing the subscribe button and the notification icon below. We upload videos every week.
So, how can you start your marketing successfully for your online business? I'm going to give you three quick tips that will help you understand how can you launch the right marketing campaign and the right strategy. Um, the first thing you need to understand and you need to set up is your audience. You need to select the right audience for your business. Once you know who you're talking to and who is your customer, then you'll know what kind of communication can you create. You'll know the tone of your ads. You'll know exactly how those customers behave on different channels. Let's say my product is for millennials. It's not the same tone than when I'm talking to the baby boomers, which are in other social media pages. Let's say millennials could be on Instagram, while baby boomers, it looks like they like Facebook so far, at least in 2020. So the first thing you need to do, after you create, you do your marketing research and you actually create your brand, you need to select the right audience before you start your marketing. If you start your marketing without the right audience, you might lose a lot of money and maybe your brand won't communicate what you want to communicate. So by selecting the right audience, you are making sure that your message is delivered to your customers. The second thing that you have to do is create your brand. If you haven't watched this video, go ahead and watch it. These are a few tips to actually develop a brand. I want to give you one of the videos that I really like about Steve Jobs. He said this about creating a brand.
To me, marketing is about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple, fortunately, is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, Sony. It is one of the greats of the greats, not just in this country, but all around the globe. But even a great brand needs investment and caring if it's going to retain its relevance and vitality. And the Apple brand has clearly suffered from neglect in this area in the last few years. And we need to bring it back. The way to do that is not to talk about speeds and fees. It's not to talk about MIPS and megahertz. It's not to talk about why we're better than Windows. The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried Got Milk, and the sales are going like this. Got Milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product. But the best example of all, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing that the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about.
So as you can see, Steve Jobs is one of the genius, and he not only created the entire Apple brand, but he actually developed that brand and grew that brand. So it's not only the technical aspect and the product itself, it's the brand and the image that you create behind whatever your product is. So it's extremely important that you pay attention of all the details of your brands. So if you want to start your marketing without a brand, just step back for a second and try to start building a brand out of your product or your business. You can create the right logo and then the right packaging and try to handle your business like a brand. If you don't have a brand, you can create several brands as part of your business portfolio. So that will be the very, it could be number one or number two, but it's really important that you select the audience with your brand in mind. So one thing goes with the other. As Steve mentioned, the top companies in the world are the ones that build a brand, and they stay with that brand consistently in all their channels, in all their campaigns. So by just selecting the right audience and channeling the right communication with the right brand, those two steps are really closely to be one of the top two steps that you have to take in order to start the right marketing campaign and the right marketing for your online business. Besides selecting your audience and building the right brand and making sure all your communication is surrounding that brand, you can start, if you want to start spending money and investing, not spending money, that's a different thing. And this is really important because if you think about spending, you're not thinking about getting a return from your investment. So if you are investing in, let's say, digital ads, I would suggest that you can start with search ads. Why? Because search ads are for people who are actually searching for your product or your service. So if you already selected your audience and your brand is in place, you have your website in place and everything else in place with the right branding, then you can start investing some money on search ads. That way you will see a return on your investment really quick, and then you can start opening up that audience of yours and try to be more broad and try to bring more users to your websites. I suggest that you should start creating several pieces of content. If you can start posting every day, and don't just create, try to document whatever happens in your business, or how do you create your products, different insights that can help you grow your audience. That will be your first goal. Before you start selling a lot, your first goal should be build and grow your audience. Why? Because that's the audience that is going to end up buying your product. Those are your future customers. If you haven't really launched your website or your business, then you should start building the audience first. Sometimes you might have an audience in mind, and then the results from your interactions will tell you, hey, you might have another opportunity with this other audience. So it's really important that you start building your audience. How do you build your audience? With a really good social media strategy. If you haven't watched this video, go ahead and watch it. I actually created a video for social media. Once you start building that content and bringing that audience of yours, you will start seeing results in 3 to 6 months. It all depends. If you are planning to, there's two ways. Let's step back for a second. So if you already have a business, one of the things that you can do right now is to start making sure you have all your social media pages open, and your business, your branding is everywhere and is consistent in every channel. Once you have that in place, then you should start creating and documenting and uploading content every day. It might take a while to build up that audience, but that's the best way to actually build your audience and start your marketing. When you start uploading a lot of content, then the algorithm of the social media pages will actually push your brand to the first place, or you will be the first post that your audience see. So it's really important that you stay consistent.